Jeff, always a pleasure to be with you, my friend. Today's a fun topic, actually. This one is, very, very current, very in the now, very thought-provoking and poignant. And I'm looking forward to hearing what other people think about this too. But you and I were kind of talking in the green room before we came on live, about this topic. And I know you've been doing some interviews recently and some of the folks you were interviewing. And I want to hear more about your story and kind of how it played out. But the leveraging of ChatGPT to do a lot of common tasks in even in interviewing, but also in posting out on LinkedIn and in other day-to-day sales activities is becoming more and more prominent. I've got a lot of thoughts on this topic. What say you?
Yeah, thank you, Carson. Yeah, I enjoy our green chats as always. Yeah, so the story is, I've done a lot of SDR hiring over the years. Cold outbound is something that's near and dear to my heart. I was an English major in college. I did a minor in creative writing, kind of a waste of time, to be honest, except for it helped me with my, ability to write good sales emails and obviously written books and built an online course about cold outbound. So I'm really passionate about leaning into this like authentic method and shared values between you and the buyer, like highly personalized stuff. And my book, the whole premise of the book is like, hey, AI is coming. If you want to stand out from the crowd, you need to lean into what makes you human, just your authenticity and so on. So the reason I'm saying all this is because I clearly have a bias, right? Like I have a certain way of doing this that I like. And so, I was interviewing some folks, and what I typically do with SDR candidates who are doing a lot of the cold outbound is I ask them to write me cold emails, or one cold email as like after our initial interview, just so I can get a baseline for their ability to write, how they solve a problem, how much they understand the product we sell. I'm actually not looking for them to do it the way that I would teach them to do it. I'm not gauging their talent on that. My hope is that if they work hard and they're coachable, I can teach them how I want them to do it. It's more some basic things I'm trying to gauge. Um, yeah, and so I think recently, like what I found is a lot of the people I'm interviewing are using ChatGPT, and
How do you know?
I got to the point.
Did they
Sorry.
tell you?
So when I asked them, did you use ChatGPT? If they did, they would admit that they used it. Some of them used it in different ways. Some whole email with ChatGPT. Some was like I wrote an email and then I fed it to ChatGPT to like ask them how to make it better or something like that, right? Or something along those lines. There were like a few different like variations about what they were doing. Initially I was kind of pissed off because I thought like, wow, this is like they're kind of cheating. The whole point of the exercise is for me to understand how they do, not a machine and blah blah blah. But then I kind of stopped and think about it, and it's like, well, these are the modern tools that people have at their disposal today. Is it actually a little bit cutthroat and competitive, and in a way could you construe it that they're actually being resourceful,
Yeah.
um, and trying to one up other people or get a competitive advantage? I mean, it's not illegal. It's not like they committed a crime, So uh, the more I thought about it, I realized, I actually maybe this is something that I kind of appreciate. I think what it comes down to is are the messages actually ones I would respond to first and
Yeah.
foremost? And look, with all these things, I mean, none of them are emails I would have responded to, but I kind of expect that from even if they were writing it themselves, they have no experience. Even if they were ChatGPT emails, they're not necessarily what I would respond to. But it wasn't because it looked automated. It was just because it's not the format that I want them to use. You know what I mean? Um, so, the more I thought about it, it's like, look, as long as what I got doesn't feel like it came from a robot, it actually met the intent of the exercise, I actually kind of appreciated it. I actually ended up hiring a couple of these folks too. So that's my take. I ended up kind of having a 360 on it. Initially, I was like a little upset, but I think I don't want to be that curmudgeon that doesn't move with the times. So I decided I think I kind of appreciate it. What do you think?
think one of the key learnings here, and I'm going to expand this conversation here in a second, and I want to kind of get your thoughts on this part too. Like when I think about the leveraging of AI, like first off, I'm using it all day, every day for different things, right? I'm leveraging it for real in the field, creating prospecting messages for customers, feeding their website into it so that I can write something that's very specific to their mission, their company reports, things of that stature. So I'm absolutely using it. Now, on the flip side of that, like if your desired outcome is you want to see how they write, I would say you probably would want to, going forward, say like, hey, I want to get your best, don't use AI type of thing. But
Right.
then again, how do you trust check that, right? It's very challenging to really be able to gauge it if they do it right and they do it effectively. And when I think about that, like I expand this
Well,
out, when
Carson,
I go,
I got to jump in and let you know. The reason I found out they were using ChatGPT is because I asked ChatGPT, "Did you write this
ah,
email?" And it said yes. So, but yeah, I mean,
wow, okay. I mean,
yeah,
that's funny. That's also that's even more thought
scary.
provoking. And it is, and
Yeah.
I know that obviously they admitted that they had leveraged it, which is good, and maybe that the fact that it was relatively undetectable when you were perusing it the first time, that's a good thing. But to your point, I also see like, hey, this is a tool that we're using in the field right now. It's real life. If they used it to make sure that their message was quote unquote the best it could possibly be, there's merit to
Yep.
that. Now, do they need to know how to write a completely cold prospecting message themselves? Yeah. But how they arrive at it, I guess is completely up for debate. I'd be interested in people's thoughts. Then when I go into my LinkedIn feed though, and I'm going down my feed and I see like, the trumpet emoticons and announcing to my LinkedIn community, I'm immediately scrolling past. Like I know ChatGPT wrote that post. And I mean, a lot of
Right.
these posts, they stick out like sore thumbs, the way that the hashtags are listed, the way that, there's the commonalities in like themes. And again, don't get me wrong. I will feed transcripts of things that I've said into ChatGPT and have it write an article based on that. But I will massage it. I will never post it as the end result. That might be a draft, and then I will go in and massage. Same things with an email. I may have ChatGPT help me write an email that goes out to a prospect based on their website or based on ways that we could be a unique partner. However, I will absolutely massage much of it so that it still sounds in my voice. And I think that's the criticality here. We can't get away from authenticity in email, in posting, or in anything else. And there's so many other implications that are going to be on the horizon. The ability to create pictures, the ability to create videos. I mean, we're headed into a very interesting terrain. If we get away from the authenticity element, I know that's near and dear to your heart, Jeff. I mean, it's what you write about. If we get away from that element, that's when I think all hope is lost.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I think like the takeaway, leverage it, but don't rely on it.
That's the mic drop comment right there. Leverage it, but don't rely on it.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure, sir. Thanks for your thoughts and audience. I'm very interested to hear what everybody else thinks about the AI revolution. We'll see you next time.